In the shadows of their calling, many chosen ones engage in a silent battle, one that remains largely unspoken yet universally felt. For those destined for greater purposes, the struggle with lust can seem paradoxical. How can individuals who are spiritually enlightened, called to serve, and dedicated to their divine purpose also wrestle with such primal desires? This hidden turmoil often feels isolating, making it easy to think one is alone in their suffering, while in reality, countless chosen souls grapple with this challenge. Before we continue, subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell to stay updated on content that can transform your spiritual journey. The reasons behind this struggle are more surprising than one might imagine. Lust doesn't just arise from weakness. It can also stem from the pressures of living up to one's calling. The expectations placed upon spiritual leaders and those on a divine mission often create an undercurrent of stress and vulnerability. Within the grandeur of their aspirations lies an unrecognized fragility, leading to a need for solace that many mistakenly seek within fleeting moments of lust. A strong sense of responsibility can transform the natural human experience, turning it into a battleground. This silent battle becomes a double-edged sword, where the very passion intended to uplift can turn against them. By capturing this struggle, we shed light on the significance of compassion, not just for others, but for oneself. Understanding that many are engaged in this secret fight can foster an environment for openness, healing, and ultimately, transformation. The Bible is filled with stories of prominent figures who, despite their divine appointments, faced daunting temptations that reveal the commonality of such struggles. Take King David, for example, a man after God's own heart. His journey illustrates that even those closest to God are not immune to the snare of lust. David's gaze upon Bathsheba led to not only personal downfall, but also grave consequences that rippled through his kingdom, demonstrating the far-reaching impacts of succumbing to temptation. Similarly, the story of Samson serves as a powerful testament to the vulnerability inherent in those marked for greatness. Gifted with unimaginable strength and a divine purpose, Samson eventually fell prey to the wiles of Delilah. His desire for connection and love overshadowed his calling, emphasizing that the fight against lust is not merely about self-control, but also about understanding one's vulnerabilities. These biblical accounts remind us that even the most revered figures faced an inner turmoil that mirrors our own. These narratives invite reflection on our own lives, challenging us to acknowledge our battles with temptation without fear or shame. The struggles of David and Samson reveal profound lessons about the human condition and the need for vigilance. Recognizing that the path of spiritual elevation is fraught with tests can empower chosen ones to approach their challenges with renewed determination and wisdom, ultimately allowing their stories to serve as beacons of hope and resilience. Lust is not merely a human weakness. It is a manifestation of spiritual warfare aimed specifically at those with a divine calling. Ephesians 6:12 reminds us that our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the spiritual forces that seek to undermine our purpose. Understanding this truth is crucial for chosen ones, as it reframes their personal battles as part of a greater cosmic conflict. This perspective shifts the focus from self-blame to recognizing the tactics of the enemy, who seeks to distract, deter, and distance them from their higher mission. This spiritual attack often targets the vulnerable, using moments of emotional turmoil or isolation as entry points. When chosen ones are left unchecked and unaware, lust can stealthily claw its way into their lives, functioning as a tool of distraction from their God-given tasks. Thus, lust becomes not just an internal struggle, but a strategic assault designed to pull them from the path of righteousness, a path filled with divine promise and potential. Recognizing lust as a form of spiritual warfare empowers individuals to engage in proactive measures to defend themselves. It calls for a reevaluation of one's spiritual armor, urging them to bolster their faith, deepen their prayer life, and seek community support. By understanding the nature of these attacks, chosen ones can fortify their spirits, making them resilient against the seductive whispers of lust that threaten to derail them from their divine purpose. Heightened spiritual sensitivity often amplifies the challenges faced by those with divine callings, making them more susceptible to temptation. As individuals draw closer to their spiritual truths and receive insight from the divine, they become increasingly aware of both the light and the darkness around them. This expanded awareness can be a double-edged sword. While it enhances their connection to God, it also exposes them to the subtle yet powerful strategies employed by the enemy. In this delicate dynamic, the very gifts that enable chosen ones to discern the spirit realm can also heighten their vulnerabilities. Temptations may rise in intensity, appearing more seductive and harder to resist. The enemy knows their weaknesses and uses their spiritual sensitivity against them, crafting situations where lust appears as a counter to the intense emotions or spiritual burdens they experience. The struggle thus becomes more complex, reminding them that the path toward higher awareness is fraught with trials. Understanding spiritual sensitivity as both a gift and a challenge transforms how chosen ones approach their spiritual journeys. It encourages them to cultivate not only their gifts but also their self-discipline and awareness of potential pitfalls. By embracing this reality, they can adopt preventative measures, such as daily reflection and prayer, to build a fortification against the increased temptations. Recognizing the nature of these intensified struggles allows for growth, leading them deeper into their divine purpose amidst the spiritual battlefield. The solitude often experienced by chosen ones can serve as a fertile ground for vulnerability, creating an environment ripe for hidden battles with lust. When individuals set out on their spiritual journeys, the weight of their divine calling can lead to feelings of isolation, even among those who share similar aspirations. In such solitude, the absence of accountability can give rise to unchecked thoughts and desires that are typically kept at bay when surrounded by supportive community. This trap of isolation magnifies the internal struggle, as individuals may feel compelled to hide their temptations due to fear of judgment or misunderstanding. As they grapple with their lustful thoughts in silence, the enemy can exploit this loneliness, whispering lies that fuel shame and despair. The very lack of connection that many chosen ones experience turns into a disarming isolation that masks their struggles, perpetuating a cycle of concealment and self-doubt. To break free from this isolating cycle, it is crucial for chosen ones to actively seek community and forge authentic relationships where accountability can flourish. By sharing their struggles with trusted friends or mentors, they create a support system that fosters honesty and healing. Embracing community not only diminishes the power of temptation, but also reinforces their commitment to their divine purpose, reminding them that they are not alone in their battles. A higher calling inherently invites greater spiritual warfare, as the enemy seeks to undermine those destined for divine purposes. This truth is particularly relevant for chosen ones. The more significant their mission, the more intense the attacks they may face. Lust becomes a particularly effective tool in this spiritual arsenal, designed to distract and distance individuals from their God-given assignments, leading them away from the path set before them. The enemy understands that by enticing faithful individuals with lust, he shrouds their clarity and focus, diverting them from their calling. When lost in the throes of temptation, chosen ones may find themselves questioning their worth, purpose, and even their relationship with God. This distraction can create a fog that clouds their judgment and hinders their ability to discern the divine direction they are meant to follow, ultimately resulting in a rift in their spiritual journey. Recognizing that a high calling attracts greater warfare can empower chosen ones to respond proactively rather than defensively. By fortifying themselves with prayer, spiritual discipline, and community, they can equip their spirits to withstand these attacks. Embracing this understanding encourages a commitment to resilience as they learn to navigate through the storms of temptation with a renewed focus on their higher purpose, emerging stronger and more aligned with God's design for their lives. Unhealed emotional wounds serve as open doors for lust to enter, often masquerading as a false source of comfort. Experiences of rejection, heartbreak, and unresolved pain can leave individuals feeling vulnerable and exposed in their spiritual journey. When these emotional scars remain untreated, they can tempt chosen ones to seek solace in transient pleasures, leading them down a path where lust appears as a seductive refuge from their suffering, rather than addressing the root issues. This phenomenon occurs because the allure of lust can fill a perceived void left by emotional pain, offering an illusion of connection and warmth. However, this false comfort only offers temporary relief, ultimately deepening feelings of isolation and regret. Instead of healing, these encounters often perpetuate a cycle of seeking comfort outside of God's love and peace, reinforcing a belief that one's worth is tied to fleeting experiences rather than the eternal truth of divine acceptance. To combat this tendency, it becomes essential for chosen ones to confront and heal their emotional wounds. This journey often requires introspection, vulnerability, and support from trusted individuals who can guide them through the healing process. By allowing God's love to penetrate these open wounds, individuals can find true comfort and restoration, replacing the lure of lust with the profound fulfillment that comes from embracing their identity and worth as beloved children of God. The weakness of the flesh is a reality that affects every individual, regardless of their spiritual gifts or calling. Even those who walk closely with God and possess profound spiritual insights are not exempt from the vulnerabilities of human nature. This inherent frailty highlights the necessity for consistent spiritual discipline to combat the enticing pull of lust and maintain a steadfast focus on their divine purpose. Recognizing and accepting our human limitations is a vital step in the journey of spiritual growth. Acknowledging that lust can infiltrate the lives of even the most empowered individuals calls for humility and the understanding that spiritual gifts do not shield one from temptation. Instead, these gifts require constant nurturing through prayer, meditation, and community support to ensure that their spiritual strength is not eclipsed by moments of weakness. To navigate the complexities of the human experience, chosen ones must cultivate a routine of spiritual discipline that fosters resilience against the pressures of lust. Establishing habits that prioritize connection with God and self-reflection can empower individuals to stand firm against the weaknesses of the flesh. By embracing their humanity while actively reinforcing their spiritual fortitude, they can transform potential pitfalls into opportunities for growth, ultimately drawing closer to their divine calling. The role of accountability is crucial in overcoming the private struggle of lust, providing a framework for support and encouragement in the journey towards spiritual wholeness. Having strong, trustworthy relationships where individuals can share their vulnerabilities creates an environment conducive to healing and growth. When chosen ones commit to accountability with friends, mentors, or support groups, they do not navigate their challenges alone, significantly reducing the isolation that often breeds temptation. Engaging in open and honest conversations about struggles with lust enables individuals to address these issues before they escalate. Accountability partners offer invaluable perspectives, encouragement, and reminders of God's truth, helping those in struggle to stay focused on their calling. The insights and support of others can also serve as a safeguard, nudging individuals back onto the path when they veer toward destructive patterns. Moreover, deep spiritual connections foster an atmosphere where individuals feel safe to confess their troubles without fear of judgment. This honesty is essential for true healing and transformation, allowing a space for grace and understanding to flourish. As chosen ones actively pursue accountability, they cultivate a community that not only holds each other accountable, but also champions resilience in the face of temptation, ultimately reinforcing their commitment to live fully in alignment with God's purpose. Lust serves as a constant snare employed by the enemy, cleverly designed to entrap even the strongest spiritual warriors. Understanding this reality is pivotal for those who bear the weight of divine callings. The enemy is well aware of their strengths and strategic vulnerabilities. Lust is not merely a temptation, it is a deliberate tactic aimed at distracting and ultimately incapacitating individuals who are meant to fulfill God's purposes on earth. The allure of lust can catch even the most vigilant and disciplined off guard, revealing the deceptive nature of these traps. The enemy exploits moments of weakness, whether they arise from emotional pain, fatigue, or isolation, to present lust as a seemingly attractive escape. Once ensnared, individuals may find themselves wrestling with guilt and shame, which can lead to further distance from God and their mission, creating a feedback loop of despair. To combat this constant snare, awareness and proactive measures are essential. Recognizing lust as a recurring threat allows chosen ones to remain vigilant in their spiritual practices, fostering an environment where they can resist such temptations. Encouraging a focus on spiritual discipline, accountability, and community support empowers individuals to dismantle the snares laid before them. By embracing their identity as warriors committed to God's purpose, they can emerge victorious over lust, reaffirming their strength and resolve. When a person is emotionally vulnerable, the enemy swoops in to offer lust as a false comfort, presenting it as an enticing alternative to the pain of loneliness or heartache. This counterfeit connection often masquerades as a satisfying escape, filling the immediate emotional void in a way that feels pleasurable yet ultimately hollow. In these moments of weakness, the allure of lust can seem like a comforting embrace, luring individuals into believing they have found solace. However, this false comfort can quickly become a deceptive trap, masking deeper emotional wounds that require healing. While lust may soothe for a moment, it fails to provide the lasting fulfillment that genuine connections with others or with God can offer. Instead of restoring wholeness, it pulls individuals further into isolation, reinforcing the very vulnerabilities they sought to escape. This cycle of seeking temporary relief leads only to a deeper sense of emptiness and disconnection from one's true self and purpose. To break free from this cycle, it is crucial for individuals to seek authentic connections and delve into spiritual healing rather than opting for immediate gratification through lust. Engaging in meaningful relationships and nurturing one's spiritual life offers a better strategy for filling emotional voids. By consciously choosing to address their vulnerabilities and seek true comfort through God and supportive communities, they can replace the lure of lust with genuine love and connection, paving the way for deeper healing and fulfillment. The power of self-control is essential for chosen ones to navigate the challenges presented by lust, as complacency can easily lead to falling into detrimental patterns of thoughts and behaviors. Without a concerted effort to strengthen their spirits, individuals can find themselves succumbing to the allure of temptation, losing sight of their higher calling. This journey requires intentional focus and discipline, as the path toward spiritual fortitude is not one that unfolds by chance. When self-control is neglected, lust can infiltrate the mind and heart, leading to a series of destructive choices that derail one's spiritual journey. It is important for chosen ones to understand that they are not only fighting against external temptations but also internal cravings that, if unchecked, can spiral out of control. Building self-control involves making conscious decisions each day to align thoughts and actions with their divine purpose, fostering a lifestyle that prioritizes spiritual growth over fleeting desires. Strengthening self-control is a holistic endeavor that encompasses prayer, meditation, and the cultivation of healthy habits. By actively engaging in spiritual practices, individuals fortify their resolve against the encroachment of lustful thoughts and actions. Moreover, surrounding themselves with supportive communities and accountability partners enriches their capacity to exercise self-discipline, ensuring that they are better equipped to resist temptation and remain steadfast in their commitment to their divine path. Victory over lust is not only possible but also achievable through a commitment to spiritual discipline, accountability, and healing. By integrating these elements into their lives, chosen ones can actively combat the temptations that seek to derail their purpose. Spiritual discipline serves as the foundation upon which resilience is built, empowering individuals to choose paths that align with their divine calling rather than succumbing to fleeting desires. Accountability plays a pivotal role in this journey, providing a network of support that reinforces one's commitment to overcoming temptation. When spiritual warriors open up to trusted friends or mentors, they create a space for encouragement and honesty that helps them navigate their struggles more effectively. This communal strength is crucial, as it highlights the importance of not fighting alone but rather embracing a collaborative approach to spiritual growth and healing. Ultimately, the journey toward victory is underscored by the recognition of God's greater power at work within and through them. As chosen ones rely on divine strength and guidance, they find themselves equipped to overcome their weaknesses and experience profound healing. This transformative process leads to the emergence of a deeper sense of purpose and fulfillment, reminding them that through discipline and accountability, victory over lust and the realization of their divine calling are indeed within reach.